The Philadelphia Eagles are showing a lot of interest and obviously one in a running back, and I got some free agency news for the Eagles and other stuff that's going on, but these interviews are starting to look pretty official with what they could be really, interested in. Is it a reality or just a dream? I guess we'll find out, but let's get straight into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What is going on, guys? So obviously, we saw the interview, and we see the running back. We'll see the running back testing today, but definitely the Eagles have had interview with Jahymr Gibbs from Alabama. Just fantastic what he could do in the backfield. The Alvin Kamara clone, great vision, short, stop, start, speed. Just what he could do in the passing game. He is so good and so talented. You can even line him up as a receiver. His toughness, stays on his feet, great balance. I mean, just going to be so much better, even better than Alvin Kamara. I think in general, he's going to be a huge mismatch for a lot of defenses, and it's going to be a lot of fun to have him on this team if it was even going to be true. But the reality is, I want to think that this would be great, but I don't know if it actually would happen. I don't know if this is a reality at the end of the day. And it seems like the Eagles are really, spreading out a little bit, and they're looking at a lot of running backs. I mean, Gibbs is not making it out of the first round. It's not happening, and the Eagles just have way too many more positions to really go look after and obviously get depth behind as well. Even if you have Gibbs on your team and what you could do and how much it will actually expand your playbook with Jalen Hurts. Just imagine Gibbs and Hurts on the exchange is going to be one of the most dangerous tandems in the league, as well as you have the greatest two receivers in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, probably the best set of receivers we've seen in the NFL this past year. I got to say, having Gibbs and Hurts is going to be another tandem that teams are going to fear and be very afraid of down the line. But like I said, do I think this is reality or a dream? I think it's more of a dream. And look, if they can snag him up with that second first-round pick, I would be kind of shocked if he even lasts that long. But you never know what could happen here. But like I said, what Brian Johnson could do with this offense with Jalen Hurts, with having a running back like that and you want to utilize him as much as possible into the passing game as well, the screen game, you name it, you're going to do everything with Gibbs in your backfield, even with Gainwell being there or not. Gibbs is going to get a total of these carries, all these carries, and that's the way it's going to go. But when I kind of think about the other flip of the coin is that it could be a wasted position going into this year. I've talked about the running back position with the Philadelphia Eagles and how it's just going to be wasted drafting a running back that high, where I feel like they should go into the trade market and trading for a running back either coming off injury or somebody that needs a prove-it deal that has a lot of play left, a lot of juice left in the tank. I think that will be their safe bet, because at the end of the day, the Eagles need to take advantage of what they have on their offense, because really it's Isaac Seumalo leaving, and with Cam Jurgens coming in at right guard, and it's Miles Sanders walking in the free agency right now, so you have to make a huge decision on what you're going to do. You have 11 free agents on your defense this year. That's the only problem I have. If the Eagles had a lot of guys sign on this defense, I would say go after a running back, but because of how many holes you have, it's going to be a problem. And trust me, if they drafted Gibbs, I wouldn't care. I would be happy. I'd be like, this offense should be putting up 35, 40 points, even more a game. You know what I mean? What's complementing a really good defense is a really good offense, okay? And a defense that is going to have less talent than last year. We have to go down to realization that this defense is not going to be as good at this defense. It can be as good as last year, but with better coaching behind it, it could make the difference because Sean Desai knows how to use less talent on the defense, and you have to complement less talent and be more aggressive because you don't have specific pieces. Now, we haven't been through free agency. We haven't been through all these other things that have happened yet. So yet to tell, if this defense, they're getting some pieces and we're like, man, Howie Roseman's really, wheeling and dealing. There could be room for a running back coming into Philadelphia, and I would love it. I would enjoy it. But is it the most important position as of right now? I think going all into it, and not even just certain positions, not just worried about I'm not worried about the offense too much and who they're drafting offensively, but you got to look at the offensive line as well. The Eagles have been going crazy with offensive line from the combine. There's like 4 or 5 tackles they've already had meetings with and 1 guard. And if you guys remember, the offensive line coach and Jeff Stoutland signed a multi-year deal staying with the Philadelphia Eagles, probably gave him the bag, probably gave him as much money as possible, because look what he turned some of these linemen into. And if he even sees a little bit of talent from one of these guys, he will turn him into a Pro Bowl player, and I promise you he will, because I think he's the best offensive line coach in the league. So you got to worry about your offensive line, too, for the future. Lane Johnson's getting old. Kelsey, is either going to retire or he's going to stay. I think he's going to stay, and Cam Jurgens is going to play next to Kelsey. But at the same time, if Cam Jurgens plays good at right guard, they might keep him at right guard. So then you're going to find your next center of the future. So there's a lot going on to where you're going to have to find depth for offensive line. And, guys that are going to be your future. With that second-round pick, they could go another offensive lineman. With the second first-round pick, they can go offensive lineman. So there's a lot of different avenues they could go across with this draft. But like I said, you have 11 free agents on your defense right now. 11. I'm talking about with nobody re-signed, like just straight up number of who's leaving, 11 free agents. It's absolutely insane. Or maybe it's the whole team, 11. I could be wrong, but I think it is 11 for the defense in general. That's how many guys you're losing in 1 year. And how are you going to compensate? How are you going to kind of get all that back? And the answer is you're not going to get all of it back. But you literally had to stack so much into this defense roster, which was a great roster, because you needed these players to bail out Jonathan Gannon and what he did with this defense. Okay, you're going to lose a lot of guys. I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to lose. Like Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. It looks like Jim Schwartz has so much interest in Graham and Cox right now. Both of them could be gone. Graham not only interested by the Browns, but he's interested by the Lions as well. So he can go back to his hometown, and play for the Lions next year. I can't imagine BG in another uniform. But if I was to sit here and tell you who, besides Jalen Hurts and maybe Chauncey, the franchise tag, bringing him back, whatever the case may be, if they get a long-term deal done, the one move I could see happening is Graham coming back on a 2-year deal, since he wants to play in Philadelphia for another 2 years. What is that number going to be? It's like, yeah, he wants to play here, stay in Philadelphia that badly, but for his first his double-digit sack, season, that's, it's big. I mean, that guarantees him more money at the end of the day, and what these other teams could be offering him, it could be a lot more than Philadelphia right now. And, he's a lot older now, and, the Eagles got to get younger at defensive end. They need to pair somebody up next to Jordan Davis badly. Is Nakobe Dean the only linebacker that's, is Davion Taylor ready? Probably not. Sean Bradley's a special teams guy. They need to add more with TJ Edwards and Kaiser White leaving. Safety, is Reed Blankenship the guy with Chauncey sitting back there if Chauncey gets extended? We don't even know if Chauncey's even getting extended. They're making it high priority. But this is the issue that I'm definitely having. There's definitely a huge issue here. And you're not going to bring all these guys back. So drafting Gibbs, it would be awesome. Then you'd have to put a lot of pressure on your offense to get a lot of points every single game. And Sean Desai, the coordinator for this defense, would have to be very, very creative. And I think we have the right coach in here. Obviously, time will tell. Hopefully, he's a Vic Fangio disciple, being a quality control guy under that defense for the Bears for a few years, became the coordinator for the Bears in 21, and took a lot less of a defense. Roster-wise, that defense was still a top 10 defense by Sean Desai that year, with less talent than what the Eagles had. And the Eagles had the total opposite. Great defensive roster and a coach that wasn't capable of making adjustments. And that's been the whole issue right now. So to kind of bring this whole thing up, yeah, Gibbs. I love Gibbs. I draft him over Bijan. To be honest with you, I like him a lot more, because either one of those guys I would absolutely love. But is it a reality? It's just not. And trust me, if he got drafted here, man, then I'm expecting this offense to put up 35, 40-something points a game. Like, that's you got no excuse for what you have in this offense. If Kelsey stays and Jurgens plays right guard, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, whatever number 3 receiver they're going to use, it's unmatched. It would be monstrous. So we'll find out what happens in the coming weeks. But Gibbs on an interview with the Eagles is a great sign. But it's going to be interesting. We have no mid-round picks. We don't have 4th, 5th, 6th round picks. Unfortunately, we only have some 7th rounders right now. We don't know the disclosed information on those picks because they haven't released the compensatory game. Some of these picks from the compensatory picks and all that stuff. They haven't released any of that yet. But like I said, let me know what you guys think about Jahymr Gibbs, what he brings to the table. Would you draft him? Do you think drafting a running back early is going to be a big mistake from the Eagles? Do you think there's more that they need to do with this roster? Because I'm sorry, but I'm not worried about a high priority as a running back over 11 free agents leaving on your defense. That's the whole thing I'm going over. And yes, you're going to be like, well, Joey, you said if they drafted him, you'd be really happy. I said, yeah, I would, because our offense would be set. Our offense would be, you just added the firepower that you add with Gibbs to that offense would be holy crap. But your defense is definitely going to struggle. It's going to struggle with picking a running back and having a starter on your defense. That's what I'm talking about when it comes down to it. So let me know what you guys think, and it should be interesting. So we will see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow us live. Peace out, guys. Peace.